A state parliamentary inquiry has found far-right extremist groups took advantage of anger over Victoria's COVID lockdowns to recruit new followers. Today's report warns there's been a resurgence in far-right activity and recommends more groups are outlawed by security agencies.
Within months of the standoff between anti-lockdown protesters and police at the Shrine of Remembrance, the inquiry into far-right extremism in Victoria began hearing evidence. One of its key findings was that far-right groups took advantage of community anger over lockdowns to recruit.
No more lockdowns!
As more people were using digital spaces to connect, we saw these movements exploit people's legitimate fears and anxieties, spreading misinformation.
The report defines far-right groups as authoritarian, xenophobic, opposed to democratic principles and prepared to use violence. It found there's been a resurgence in far-right activity in Victoria since 2016, driven by social isolation, economic insecurity and the loss of trust in public institutions like governments.
The risk is only going to grow. We know one thing for sure, that we've got individuals in Victoria, as the report shows, groups and individuals who are walking around with hatred in their hearts, and they're a clear and present danger.
The recommendations include measures like restricting members of far-right groups from owning guns and putting more of those groups onto ASIO's banned list. But there are also recommendations for programs to build social cohesion and for more transparency and integrity in Parliament.
A lot of it is around community building. It is around addressing social exclusion.
We largely agree with the recommendations, but there was an opportunity to strengthen the recommendations around anti-vilification, moderating the online space and education campaigns to deal with racism.
As someone who's been subject to these threats by these groups for many years, it's a relief to have this threat acknowledged, and I hope these recommendations will be taken up.
Ben Knight, ABC News, Melbourne.